great, and they while they still do stuff, they also have good messages in them. So, yeah.
Yep.
All right. So
yeah, like Josh said, Dungeons and Dragons, the whole fucking people didn't like daycares when they were starting when they were new because there was one book said that they might have Satanists. And, fucking stupid.
Yeah, it is. It is. All right, so let me change the title to our next topic. So this was actually brought up by you, Greg, which ironically, again, this all happened on Thursday. Like there was the Trump meeting, and on top of it, there were about 3 major things happening on that Thursday, announcement-wise. So the games that were announced that day: Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Fortnite Mobile was announced. And then the Division 2, and then Nintendo's Direct all on the same day, along with the Trump thing, which is crazy. So,
it was fucking the 8th was insane.
Yes, definitely. So, here's what I'll throw to you, Greg, and what out of the, at least when it comes to, outside Nintendo Direct, because we'll talk about that later on. What was out of the games that was announced? What was the one that got you most excited?
I don't know that any of them got me excited. I couldn't care less about Fortnite on mobile. Like, that interests me on zero amounts. You guys need to chill with that.
I know. I'm fixing it
but
now.
also, Anthony needs to do a spell check. I love you, Anthony, but you are a bad speller. Maybe not that bad, but we like to give you shit. Black Ops 4 it's interesting, but I wish they had not gone there. Mm-hmm. Made something else. I know that Black Ops is one of the more popular Call of Duty franchises, or like sub franchises, I guess you could call it. But I was like, okay, well, all right, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I'll check it out. I always check out the storyline, so I'm interested enough. But Division 2 actually has me interested because I argue that Division 1 is not a bad game. It's a hard sell for $60.
It's
at least post launch, I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, I'd say like it started out pretty rough when the game came out. Like there were a number of issues, last I recall, and they weren't fixed till like much later on. But yeah.
I mean, what I'm interested to see about Division 2, because all we got was literally an announcement with a title. That was it. Mm-hmm. Is in Division 1, the story was good. I liked the story. I thought that was an interesting fucking take on like a post-apocalyptic setting.
Yeah, definitely.
But as I pointed out, that I thought was so interesting about the world in which the Division takes place, you could technically have this be in any other city. You could have this be in LA. You could have this be in Chicago, in Miami. Like, this is a worldwide event. So why are we so isolated to just Manhattan?
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true.
So I'd like to see more of that. So I'm interested to see where Division 2 takes us. But I also want to see advancements in the RPG aspect. I want to see advancements in like variety of how to play the game, because it was very limited. And one of the worst things about the game was the Dark Zone.
Oh, you didn't like that part of it?
I hated the Dark Zone. So here's why I hated the Dark Zone. It was a way for players to go in and get high-level gear, but like chance it to not get that high-level gear. But here's also the problem, Anthony, is whatever gear you took in, you took the chance of losing that gear. So let's say you have like a high-level helmet, a high-level vest, and you go in, right? And you're like, all right, cool. You kill a couple computer-controlled enemies, and you get their high-level gear. And then you go to the extraction zone, and there's some dude with a fucking sniper rifle not far off, just waiting for people to show up to that, like literally camping that zone, that spot, tag you in the head, kill you instantly, take the gear you had on you and the gear you earned. That was the Dark Zone.
Yeah. I mean, I mean,
That was bullshit
I
and not
mean,
fun.
it's called a dark zone for a reason. But but like no, seriously, like to me,
But Anthony, that was their only PvP. That was literally their only PvP.
yeah, and that made the stakes a lot higher. Is when you go in there,
But
it's like,
that's where the game fell off. That's where the game stops being fun. It was basically if Destiny didn't have a multiplayer.
right.
If Destiny had the Dark Zone, Destiny would have died just like Division did. But because Destiny has their Halo-esque multiplayer, that's why they're able to survive.
As somebody who's hearing this, and as somebody who was interested in the division, didn't get it, but then watch some of that stuff. Like it sounds pretty cool. Just out there looking in. Like it may not be fun for you, Greg, but it sounds pretty cool.
Anthony, I thought it sounded cool too. I thought it sounded way cool until I started playing it. And there were some times where I'd go into the Dark Zone with some friends, and we go into like the level 1 area, right, where like it's not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I had high level friends who were just like we would run routes, and then go to extraction zones and like keep an eye out for other enemies. And then, but that's the thing about video games is if you put a mechanic in that can be exploited, gamers are going to exploit it. It's not designed for campers to sit there and wait for people to sit in extraction zones and take out people who've earned things. That's not how it's meant to be played. In a way that allows them to do that shit, and that's not fun. Now, even the developers, Anthony, came out and said like, we didn't intend for that. We apologize. And now they have like they have a I saw your joke, Josh, but I'm on a tirade. They have a system in place now where if you're idle for too long near an extraction zone, you immediately turn into a rogue and you get lit like green. So it allows players who are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing to get the stuff that they need, or like be more prepared when they go to the extraction zone. But for Christ's sake, it was so annoying, Anthony. Like I couldn't do it by myself. I lost gear constantly. Like, if I didn't lose the gear that I literally had on my body, it wouldn't have been a problem. It wouldn't have been as much of a problem. But because I could lose the fucking, like, purple-orange gear that I took into the Dark Zone, it was dumb. I hated the Dark Zone.
And I definitely get that. Like, if it's at a point where the game is being exploited in a way where that other players are benefiting more so, who are higher ranking and have gear, versus people who don't or have gear but then able to exploit certain things in the game so they can cheat them out of it, then yeah, that's that needs to be fixed for sure. And as you said, the developers did come out and say like, hey, we didn't intend to have this happen. So with those lessons in mind, maybe next time for the next one, if they have a dark zone, maybe it'd be more fixed.
I don't think the next one will have a dark zone, because that was easily the least popular thing. Like, that was the thing complained about the most. People played that the least when Division came out.
Mm-hmm.
What ended up happening was people would just keep doing the same, like, quote unquote strikes over and over and over, trying to get high level gear, much like how people play Destiny.
Right.
Like, I really, really, really wanted just like a standard 4v4 PvP in Division. That would have been super fun. There were places in Division itself, like just areas in general, that were designed in such a way that I was like, oh, like I really PvP, but that just doesn't exist in the game. Right. It's so bizarre to me. So
right. And with the last minute and a half we have, the Fortnite announcement to mobile, as if that game doesn't need to be expanded upon other platforms already as its popularity rises. They announced they're going to be on mobile, and I had the.
It's got cross-platform with Xbox.
Oh, does it really? Oh.
Yeah, so you'll be playing, like, when you play that game, you might be playing with people on their cell phone.
That's crazy! Holy shit! That's pretty cool, actually. Wow. Oh,
that's a neat idea. It's just I don't care about Fortnite. Like, that's my problem. Like, I've tried multiple times to get into that game, and even PUBG, and I'm just like, I don't know that I like the battle royale model.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. I have that game. I have it. I've never installed it, but Yeah, it's kind of been a crazy day on Thursday last week of all these events happening. You know, I think Fortnite on mobile, we'll see how that goes. Maybe it will become a new extension to where they can you know, have people play on top of people already play on PC. This may put them over like PUBG like entirely maybe in the future. Who knows? But it definitely is seeming that way with a bunch of celebrities coming out and saying like, "Hey, I played this game." It's like, what? No, you don't. You do? So
Yeah.
it's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating, and I definitely think that Epic is making an amazingly good call with making that game, because it's already free to play and it's making them a fucking ton of money.
Oh, definitely.
Like that, like the fucking battle royale part of Fortnite saved that game from being a tanker.
Agreed.
So.
Agreed. That very much agreed. All right, so moving on to our next topic at hand.